We're back for episode 2 of the Brian and Paige show. This is another Sandstone Stories.
Oh, man.
How are you feeling for this one?
I feel worse than I did last time.
But more prepared?
More prepared, physically worse. I had possibly the only big night of the whole year last night.
It's been a COVID year, so.
Yeah. I spent the first 6 months of the year not drinking, and then we've been in lockdown for the next half of the year. So not feeling great, but
the show must go on.
Show must go on.
And I would say, having edited last week's, I think we've got a better idea of how the structure works in the stories. I have a feeling my stories are a bit tighter this time. I think they're much tighter. They're better well said.
Yeah.
I think we rambled on a little bit in the other stories. That's just because we're finding our footing. But this could be a shorter episode with the same amount of stories. I don't know what's going to happen.
We'll see. Yeah, I wrote most of my stories last week, so if I can remember them, I'll be impressed.
Awesome. Well, we've got a whiskey. Oh my gosh. It tastes very different. It's like smoky.
What is this? It's a Tenjaku Japanese whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first. Lay it on me.
All right. I got a great one to start with.
Okay.
So depending on your point of view on life, this is either the unluckiest man or the luckiest man alive.
Amazing.
So his name is Salik. So Salik's near-death experiences begin in January 1962 when he was riding a train through a cold, rainy canyon and the train flew off the tracks and crashed into a river. An unknown person pulled Salik to safety while 17 other passengers drowned. Salik suffered a broken arm and hypothermia. The next year, during his first and only plane ride of his life, he was blown out of a malfunctioning plane door and landed in a haystack. The plane crashed, killing 19 people. 3 years after that, in 1966, a bus that he was riding skidded off the road and into a river, drowning 4 passengers. Salik swam to shore with a few cuts and bruises. We're just getting warmed up.
Jesus, okay.
In 1970, his car caught fire and he was driving and he managed to escape before the fuel tank blew up. 3 years later, in another driving incident, the engine of the car was doused with hot oil from a malfunctioning fuel pump, causing flames to shoot through the air vents. Salik's hair, it's my New Zealand accent there, Salik's hair was completely singed in the incident, but otherwise, he was unharmed. 1995, 15 years later, he was struck by a bus in Zagreb, but sustained only minor injuries. In 1996, he eluded a head-on collision with a United States truck on a mountain curve by swerving into a guardrail, which gave way under the force. Salik was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected out of the car, clinging to a tree branch as he watched his vehicle fall 300 feet. 2 days after his 73rd birthday, Salik won 900,000 euros or 1.1 million US dollars in the lottery. At the time of this win, he also married for the 5th time. While he purchased 2 houses and a boat with his winnings, in 2010, he gave away most of his remaining money away to relatives and friends after deciding to live a frugal lifestyle.
Oh my God. Is this guy from Ukraine?
I don't know where he's
Zagreb.
from.
Where's that?
They made him up.
Croatia? So. Oh, I'm going to embarrass myself. Is it real? Is it fake? My guess is it has to be real. There's no way you'd be clever enough to come up with all that information.
Unless I put in a few fake ones in there with the real ones.
Well, how am I going to know, man? There's so many stories.
What do you think?
What? I reckon if you did put in fake ones, then it's bullshit. As in like...
an unfair strategy.
Then it's an unfair strategy.
That's
However, I think it's true.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I agree. I think it's an unfair strategy. It's such a cop-out. Just take it. Like my Toy Story one, I completely made up the whole, completely redid it. But if I just added in like one story in here, completely true. And so that's what I mean. Like if you Google the unluckiest man alive, he comes up. But if you Google the luckiest man alive, he also comes up. So it depends on your point of view.
Is he still alive? No.
I think he's still alive. I mean, 2010 is the last thing. So I don't know. He was only 73. So
I bet COVID got him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I bet it did. 100. I bet he got like COVID like 3 times or something.
The first person in Europe or something. Wow, what a life.
Pretty
You'd think you'd learn your lesson. What was he like? One of the last ones was he wasn't wearing his seatbelt?
Yeah, true. But it's because he wasn't wearing the seatbelt that he flew out of the car.
And he stayed alive.
And he managed to grab onto a tree.
What a hero.
Which is not, we're not advocates for not wearing seatbelts.
No.
Isn't it interesting I just ate my own words and told a 2.5 minute story?
Yeah. It's like straight off the bat.
Yeah. But it's a good one. It was tight, like, you know. But yeah.
All right. What's his name? Salik.
Selak.
Selak.
Selak. Selak.
There you go.
Selak.
You guys can fact check us.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. Okay, let me set this up. The British hockey team once withdrew from the Olympics because they were afraid of the embarrassment of losing to one of their own colonies. So this was when India first joined the Olympics. They first put their hockey team into the Olympics.
Right.
Britain were the defending Olympic champions and had gold medals from like 1908 to 1920. When the Indian team grabbed a gold at the Amsterdam Olympics, and then they maintained that dominance for the next like 2 decades. So before the Amsterdam Olympics, the Indians had beaten the British in like a non-Olympics match.
So it wasn't as official.
Yeah, but the British were too afraid to go into the Olympics that year because they didn't want to lose to one of their own colonies.
Egos, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? But is it true?
I can't see you making this up. It's too like weird, unless you manipulated it or some sort of story. I'm gonna say it's true.
It is true.
Yes,
it is true.
It sounds like something Britain would do.
Yeah,
you know they totally wanted to colonize the whole world, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they
kind of
fair fist of it, but yeah, cowards.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. I mean, India dominates, and because it's got such a big population.
Yeah,
that's always been why it's crazy to me that Australia and New Zealand even have a fighting chance in any sport because our population is so tiny.
I'm just waiting for China to win everything.
Yeah,
surely it's coming.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, they win a lot of the individual sports.
Right.
But the team sports, which is like, as we were talking off camera before about football and the culture of football, like they don't have that. And they'll never have that culture that like the UK has or Brazil has, where it's like part of just who you are.
Yeah.
So I think that could affect like the actual team sports.
Totally. Yeah. So there you go. One for the Indians.
There you go. 2 true stories.
2 true.
I was almost going to start with a fake just to throw a spanner in the works.
On my toes.
I didn't know.
All right.
Here's a quick one. Netflix marketing team releases memes about shows to give off the appearance that everyone is watching said show. Since people have FOMO, they watch the shows to understand the memes until everyone eventually watches it. They built establishing relationships with the largest meme account in the world on Instagram.
Yeah.
And this is why you often see really shitty memes that don't really work and aren't that funny constantly shared across Instagram. Some of the biggest examples include the show You, like the stalker one.
Yeah.
The latest Tiger King series, which has just been released, Squid Games, and many other hit Netflix shows.
This sounds true. I reckon that's true. For sure they partner.
I don't know.
Partner with meme accounts.
This is a conspiracy theory.
Oh, really?
So no one knows.
Now we're entertaining conspiracy theories. Great.
I guess there's no points here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It hasn't been, you couldn't say it's true with evidence. But I couldn't say it's false.
On the other hand, if someone sees the show, like, it's quite highly likely that someone's going to make some shitty meme about it anyway.
Yeah, but you just see like...
Everyone wants to be the first person to make the meme sort of thing.
Yeah, but I think you see really bad ones and you see them constantly. And if there's money exchanged there, then that's an ad. And they should be promoting it as an ad.
Right.
So that's actually illegal.
Ah.
So...
See.
I don't know. So yeah, I can't say it's true, but I feel like it is probably true in some sense.
So if Netflix approached you or us to make a shitty meme, and make it and not tell anyone that was an ad, would you do it?
Nah.
You wouldn't do it?
Because it'll bite me in the ass. I swear, one day it'll bite me in the ass.
Yeah, fair.
And but why would they not want it? Why would they not want it to be an ad?
Just for the record, I'm leaving the door open, even though Brian has closed it.
Nah, I mean, I'm too young to hurt my reputation like that.
Fair.
Unless it was like, actually, the more money, the worse it would be, though.
True.
So, yeah. I mean, and that's actually the whole space with crypto and everything, how people are promoting crypto scams, even though they're like affiliated with like Jake and Logan Paul both like owned one of these crypto things they created, and then they were advertising and like they were just like affiliated with them.
Yeah.
They didn't disclose that they were like 50% owner in the company, which is actually illegal, but it's technically not illegal because they haven't set the laws and regulations in for the crypto market yet.
Yeah.
So it's like unregulated, which is causing all this chaos.
Yeah, I think that's pretty gross.
Is that true or false?
Oh, fuck you. Specifically Logan and Jake Paul?
Yeah, that last 1 minute.
No, it's not true.
It's true.
Oh my God!
Got him.
You're the worst.
Fuck. It's completely true. Jake's just released I watch all this stuff on YouTube, man. I watch that's like my most favorite stuff to watch. Like
the apology videos?
No, just like all the scammers and like stay on top of like the amount of influencers who are doing crypto scams right now. Unbelievable.
Or NFT stuff. And
NFT, it's unbelievable. And when I say scams, they're legitimate like pump and dump schemes. They're not just like, hey, here's my NFT if you want to get in on it. That's not a scam.
Yeah.
But they're saying this is a new thing, and as soon as it goes public, they pull out, and then it just drops, and all of their fans are like, got their dick in their hands, going, what have I done? So yeah, we got a bit serious there.
Yeah,
At least
okay.
I got a point.
Nice one. All right, okay. Have you heard about the Lost album of Green Day?
No.
So in 2003, they were recording an album after their album Warning, which was their second album. So their third album, they were recording it. It was called Cigarettes and Valentines. And they'd finished the album. The master tapes one night was stolen. They stole the master tapes, came back into the studio. There was nothing. They had a couple of demos, like backups of demos that they'd made, but the whole album was gone. And in that moment, they like did some soul searching as a band. They were like, do we record the whole album? Did we even like the album that much?
Right.
Do we even want to keep doing this? Because like it's a massive blow once you've been in the studio for that long and psyched yourself up for a third album.
I mean, what are we talking, like a year's worth of work, 2 years?
Well, probably about 6 months of actual like recording and writing and stuff like
still got
that.
all the songs.
Because you got to tour and everything.
Yeah.
But they decided instead to scrap the whole album, and that's when they started writing the first song of American Idiot, which was Jesus of Suburbia. They wrote that album, then they released that album, and it made them the biggest band in the world. And that's my favorite album of all time.
It was my very first album I ever bought.
So the person in the world that I would like to thank the most out of anyone musically is whoever stole that lost album of Green Day, because if it wasn't for them, then we never would have had American Idiot.
Assuming it's true.
It is true.
Yes.
It is true.
It's a good one though.
Thank you.
That is a really good one. It's probably one of my favorite albums. There's not many albums that I can like in my opinion, that have consistently good songs. Like
Start to finish.
4 to 5, 6 absolute bangers. Like usually there's like 1 or 2 great songs in an album that you listen to. But for American Idiot, it's just like bang after Boulevard of Broken Dreams, Wake Me Up When September Ends, Holiday.
I honestly, play me any song on that album
Yeah.
at any time. I'm all about it.
It was the first album I ever got on iTunes.
Really?
Paid like $12 for it. It was like on
Nice.
iTunes, because this was back when you had to pay for everything.
Yeah.
It's so expensive back then.
Yeah, man. That album, I reckon, shaped a large part of my musical life. So there you go.
Wow. That's a good one. So here's another quick one.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever wondered why women bruise easier than men?
I have legitimately wondered.
I think a lot of people have wondered this.
Yeah.
So is it true that women bruise easier than men? I think it's true because,
I would say yes.
of course, like you see women, they get like flicked on their thigh and they seem to get bruises.
Yeah.
The other day I completely ate shit on the motorbike and I had no bruises. Like I scraped all over my body and I had nothing.
Yeah.
However, everyone is different, and just because some women bruise easily does not mean that they all do. However, Dr. Torkins, I'm going to butcher his name, Dr. Torkinson gave a reason why dermatologists agree that women tend to bruise more easily. This is felt to be due to women's skin having more fat and less collagen. Collagen forms a network of fibers in the skin that hold it together like a net. The collagen supports blood vessels, so they are more protected from injury. The dense collagen layer is thicker in men, and the blood vessels are held more securely, which makes them less likely to break with injury.
Wow. Okay.
Basically saying women have an extra layer of fat, and that is what bruises. And like we need to play paintball at school, and the girls have these massive like war bruises.
Yeah. That's fascinating. I thought it was something to do with like iron deficiency.
That's what everyone assumes.
Yeah.
Unless I'm bullshitting.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't think you're smart enough to come up with that. So I think it's bullshit. No, I think it's true. It's true.
You think it's true? Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. Yeah. I was thinking as I read this, I should have dumbed it down a bit. No, but yeah, I remember because I've known this for a while. And sometimes it's come up in conversation. And I'll be like, yeah, it's because women have an extra layer of fat. And they're like, excuse me? And I'm like, what are you offended about? It's science. This isn't I'm not calling you fat. It's just an extra layer. Which
It's
also,
just, I'm not calling you fat. It's just an extra layer.
Yeah. That's a Byron Dempsey quote.
Classic.
But I think that also contributes to why women do put on weight easier as well.
Why?
Yeah, the same thing with the extra layer of fat and collagen.
Bullshit.
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I think I can't tell you if it's either one.
I think you're digging your grave right now.
I am. All right, sweet. I got some really good ones here. But you know Batman, don't you?
I do know Batman.
Do you know Scarecrow's drug is real?
No.
So you know the drug that he sprays people with, and then they see the biggest fear and they hallucinate everything they fear?
Wow.
So it's based off a real concept.
Okay.
So not many people know this, but back in the 1920s during the First World War, and shortly after, a group of scientists began to work on a drug that would make interrogations horrific without physically harming them.
Okay.
So it was a mental thing.
Yep.
The drug B11C12 was nearly complete, but after the First World War, they had to cut costs and the project was let go. The Great Depression and all that, it wasn't a priority. Until the beginning of the Second World War, one scientist named Johann Fitzenberg combined a variety of chemicals with compounds such as MDMA, LSD, basically in disguise, that can make you go crazy if taken in large doses and on an uncontrollable perpetual ingestion timescale.
So it doesn't run out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's basically you're overdosing on like these hallucinogenics along with whatever, I don't know the other technology he did. But the drug was a huge success and used in the right settings would cause people to hallucinate their worst nightmares. It was the most efficient means of interrogation, however, very few people ever recovered. The drug would linger in your system for years, and out of the 25 people who were interrogated with it, 17 were recorded to have taken their own life within 18 months of use. It is due to this reason the drug became well and truly illegal. The craziest part of this whole story is Johann refused to stop working on it as it had consumed his life. And one day a leak spread through and infected him and his co-workers. Without the proper restraints in place, they all freaked out and accidentally burnt down the entire facility, destroying not just himself, but the remaining copies of B11C12. This led to the drug Scarecrow, which was used for the first time in Batman Begins Comics Edition 345.
It has to be bullshit.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's bullshit?
I think it's
Why?
bullshit. Because it's too crazy. And also I don't believe that people would stop using it even if it made people crazy, because torture makes people crazy.
Yeah, but it was like, yeah, it's bullshit. I made up the entire thing.
So much detail.
Dude, that was my like, I just completely made it up. I took nothing from the web.
God.
Like, I have
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
For all we know, like, some of that could be true, but completely made up. Yeah.
I wanted to believe.
It was a sick story. I have no idea where the drug idea came from.
Uh-huh. Although there is that drug, you know, that I've seen a Vice documentary about it where you can blow this flour into like dried up flour into someone's face and they do whatever you say for like 24 hours.
Bullshit.
It's true.
You know, wait, it's
no,
true.
It's legitimately true.
Really?
Yeah. It's like,
I know, I've never heard of it.
no, I know. It is actually true. You like grind it up. It comes from a flour in Colombia or Central America or Northern South America. And it just makes people basically do whatever you tell them to.
How?
I don't know.
How can that?
I don't know. And they don't remember anything. They literally have people being like, oh, can you take us to your house? Oh, can we have all your things? And like, yeah, okay, sure.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So they won't like, so it's like casual, just like influencing them almost.
Yeah,
so it's
but
not like,
they
hey,
have
can you go shoot someone?
They have no like ability to filter. Yeah.
Right.
And they like go to the ATM and just withdraw all their money and give it to someone.
That's cool.
It's crazy.
I want to research
but
that
it is
now.
true. It is true.
All right. What have you got?
All right. My final entry today is when they were filming The Wizard of Oz for Professor Marvel's coat. They wanted like an old ratty coat, and they didn't have the right one in the wardrobe department. So they went down to the old secondhand store on the main street, and they bought back a whole rack of coats that they picked up. And the wardrobe man and Victor Fleming, the director, got together and chose one. It was kind of like a Prince Albert style coat, apparently. Now, the coat fitted Morgan, the actor, and had the right look and was shabby and all the rest of it. So one hot afternoon, Frank turned the pocket outside, and on the name on the inside of the jacket was L. Frank Baum. Now, guess who L. Frank Baum is? The writer of The Wizard of Oz.
No way. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. And apparently they sent pictures back to the tailor, and the tailor recognized it as one of the coats that he'd made for the writer. And then Baum's widow identified the coat after the picture was taken. And yeah.
Gotta be real.
It is real.
Yeah. There's no disrespect, but like that's such a unique thing for someone to make up.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
That's sick though. That is sick. Actually, I've got one. I got something crazy like that. I'll finish on this one. I've been coming across some awesome stuff. I was going to hold it off, but I just want to finish on it because this one made me like, this is crazy.
Okay.
So a bullet that reached its destination 1 year later. So
I'm listening.
Henry Ziegloud thought he had dodged fate. In 1883, he broke off a relationship with his girlfriend who, out of distress, committed suicide. The girl's brother was so enraged that he hunted down Henry and shot him. The brother, believing he had killed Henry, then turned the gun and shot himself. But Henry had not been killed. The bullet, in fact, had only grazed his face and then lodged in a tree. Henry surely thought himself a lucky man. Some years later, however, Henry decided to cut down the large tree which still had the bullet in it. The task seemed so formidable that he decided to blow it up with a few sticks of dynamite. The explosion propelled the bullet into Henry's
Shut
head
up.
and killed him
Shut
1
up.
year later.
Shut up. Oh my God. It's true, isn't it?
It's true.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
Bro.
This is why I love this show.
Bro. How? How can that be possible? That's amazing.
I mean, it could be fake and I've been stitched up, but
Yeah.
I didn't come up with that story.
Yeah.
And apparently it's true. So
That's an amazing story.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's a
for
good
that.
one, eh?
Shit. All right. Herein ends episode 2 of Sandstone Stories.
cheers.
Nice one. Yeah, what do you guys have to do if you're listening? You have to send us in. If you have any stories that you know of or that happened to you, send them in. Just DM them to one of us, not to the Sandstone, not to the Byron and Pace page, because otherwise we'll both see it. And then give us a review on whatever podcasting platform you might be listening to, because it takes you could literally do it while you're listening right now.
Yeah.
By the time I finish plugging this, you could have left a 5-star review, because it helps the show get ranked and shit like
Yeah.
that.
And it's literally getting podcast reviews is one of the most difficult things ever.
totally.
When I launched, how many friends did I have in my life? 2
Yeah.
gave a review,
Yeah.
even though I asked them. And
Exactly.
it's to get random strangers is even
Literally. So if you do that, we love you. Take care, and we'll see you next time.